Welcome, listener, to another regularly scheduled episode of Trailer Hitch. And this is one that we're definitely having recorded normally when we normally record episodes.
We're definitely recording it.
Right? Wink, a wink, a wink.
Actually, this is a live episode. That's how we're doing this one.
Whoa!
Yeah.
It's gonna be really weird when, there's nothing topical happening in it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just kidding, everyone. Actually, we're recording this way early because one of us has to be out of town when we normally record.
It's you.
Look, they're gonna remain nameless. Whoever's gonna be out of town.
You're the only one that can afford to go out of town.
It's not important. It's not important who's gonna be out of town.
What is important? Have that much money?
What is important, Kevin?
Rent is so expensive out here.
Is that we're here. We're here for the listeners.
Yeah.
So,
let's focus on...
Unfortunately...
Let's stop focusing on your finances.
Since this is the past and they are the future, there is quite a lot of things that have probably came out that we are not able to talk about and comment on at the moment.
For all we know, they fixed Sonic the Hedgehog.
Let's comment on a few things that happened just the past couple days, Kevin.
Yeah, sure.
Ooh. Oh, that was good. Kevin, what did you think of that one right there?
Well, I was really surprised. I didn't think Pet Sematary made enough money to warrant a sequel, but it turns out another family moves in and they have a dog.
Turned around so quickly.
Isn't it also romantic? That was a surprise trailer.
Coming to us, Valentine's Day 2020.
Yeah.
What a great trailer that we're going to be reviewing in this. Oh no, guess what? The past us are back, and we're going to talk about past stuff now.
Because we're recording this a bit early, because we want to give you all that content, we are going to be doing kind of a catch-up episode. So usually when we talk about trailers, we do a little oh yeah, and if we see the trailer and like it, we report back to you in a trailer in the review segment.
Totally, yeah.
We're not super consistent about that. That's something we're looking to rectify. And so...
We'll see how today goes.
We're going to be rectifying it right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be talking to you guys about Pet Sematary and about Dumbo. James, what are you going to be talking about?
I'm going to be talking about the romantic movies, isn't it? Romantic,
yep.
The movie, and Happy Death Day 2, both Valentine's Days movies that came out.
Swoon.
Yeah.
And then we are going to be talking about Us.
We got to review Us.
And we're going to be talking about Shazam.
But first, we have a theme song that we almost forgot about. Should we play that?
It's right here.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Turn the lights, grab a seat, pour yourselves some whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're Trailer Hitch. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're Trailer Hitch.
Welcome to Trailer Hitch.
Welcome to Trailer Hitch.
I am Kevin.
And I'm James.
James is, of course, joining us for metaphorical first class, drinking some 1% milk. Thank you for allowing this peasant to be in your presence.
Do they make 1% milk?
They sure do. You probably don't know because your butler just buys it for you.
Sure.
But this is a real Jack and Rose situation. We're going to come together. Maybe one of us will float away from a door as we talk to you about these trailers.
Heyo.
And these movies. So... James and I both saw some movies separately that we both gave need-to-sees to.
That's right.
We're going to be updating you guys on what those were like, how those trailers played in retrospect. This is a segment we call drive-through reviews. So these are kind of in brief. They're little snapshots of what we thought of these movies.
Without giving anything away in case the other person wants to see it.
Yes.
That hasn't yet.
Yes, of course. So, James, we're actually going to start with you, because your movies were back in February.
Yeah, way long ago. Back in time.
The romantic films.
Yeah.
So let's start with Happy Death Day to you. What did you think?
So I liked Happy Death Day to you.
Okay.
I don't know if I liked it as much as I liked the trailer for it, though. If you remember how we talked about the trailer, I was like, you probably shouldn't see the trailer unless you've seen the first one.
I deliberately went out of my way to see the movie.
Yeah.
And then I watched the trailer and went, oh, fuck, you were right.
Yeah.
It straight up tells you who the killer is.
It tells you who the killer is.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, this is going to be... it's going to be some of the same, but it's going to be in a different way somehow, and we're not sure yet how. And then the movie kind of very early on tells you what kind of movie this is, and it's not really a stuck in time loop movie like Groundhog's Day that the first one is. There's another element that comes into play, but let's just say the genre of the film isn't really like slasher comedy anymore. It dives a little bit more into science fiction, which I think is a bold move for it. And parts of it worked really well, and parts of it I thought were not so good.
That actually makes me a bit more interested in it. Like, instead of it being just like, oh yeah, it's
A
basically
rehash.
the same thing.
Yeah, it's not.
We're going to completely go off the rails.
No, we talked about Avengers Endgame in the last episode, and spoiler alert for Endgame real quick, there's time travel in it. And it revisits things that some people may think, oh no, is that like a rehash thing? And it's like, no, they do it in a different way. And that's kind of how this movie worked, I think, too. There were certain aspects, though, that were not really lining up for me. I will say this. There is a post-credit scene, and it just, like, sort of cracks open the franchise to have multiple sequels, but to take it in different genres. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the third Happy Death Day movie would be, like, a Fast and the Furious Hobbs and Shaw style, just like buddy action film. That's kind of like the direction I can see this franchise going. And I'm kind of there for that. It was very interesting. So I would say
our scale for this
Oh,
is,
yes, thank you.
Should see again, glad I saw it, should have waited, shouldn't have seen it.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
For me, I guess I end up being at a glad I saw it.
Okay.
Just because it was so different. Even though there were aspects of it pulling me towards should have waited.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't end up there, so there you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what did you think of Isn't It Romantic?
Isn't It Romantic is the other competing movie that came out this past Valentine's Day, many eons ago. And that was the...
Like 3 months,
That was the romantic comedy with Rebel Wilson, Liam Hemsworth, and the guy from Workaholics,
Adam
Devine?
Devine.
Right?
Yeah.
Adam Devine?
I almost said Levine, and that's
a different guy.
Adams are like the Olivias of actors. Like, there are so many actresses named Olivia, so many actors named Adam.
And Chris. There's a lot of Chris's out there.
There's a good amount of Chris's, aren't there?
Yeah. But anyway, so Isn't It Romantic? It's a romantic comedy about Rebel Wilson gets bonked on the head and she wakes up and she's in a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
It's rated PG-13. There's indicators all over the place that she is not in a realistic world. Mm-hmm. What did I think of it? I was very excited about this going in, and I was very excited about it by the time I came out. I thought it was exactly what the trailer was selling. There was just like a lot of really charming elements. It wasn't extremely telegraphed by the end of it, but enough where you go, well, it's a romantic comedy, so I guess it gets a pass because it's like sort of poking fun at romantic comedies. So I guess if I can sort of see where it's going, that's not the biggest faux pas, maybe. But Liam Hemsworth is like really funny in it. Rebel Wilson, who I think is very delightful in this movie, does a lot less of just her falling over, which is like the kind of comedy that I get kind of irritated with.
Yeah, totally.
Like which The Hustle looks like, which I will not be seeing.
Yeah.
I really, really liked this one. I kind of can't wait to see it again. Like, I don't know if I would have paid to see it in the movie theater again.
Okay.
But it was one where I was like, that'll be a fun rewatch. Mm-hmm. This one is a real high glad I saw it.
Okay.
Not should see it again, because I think for me that implies run out to the theater and see it a second time.
Totally.
And I like to reserve those for the tippy top. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited to rewatch this, to give this another rewatch. I thought it was like really fun and charming. And if you like romantic comedies, like run, don't walk to this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
For sure.
So, I saw Dumbo. Now, when we reviewed the trailer, I think I started by asking the all-important question, Dumbo, more like Dumbo? And I am here to tell you, for me, unfortunately...
Definitively.
More like Dumbo. It wasn't really that great. I was really won over by the visual style in the trailer.
Well, that's good. Did it carry over?
Sometimes. Anytime something bad happens to Dumbo, they kind of wash the frame in this weird sepia tone that just kind of like muddies the frame. I also think the story, as it's told in the trailer, is pretty concise and focused, and that focus kind of felt lost for me in the actual movie.
Okay.
Because a lot of the movie is about the family around Dumbo. So it's Colin Farrell, who comes back from war. He's got one arm, and he's like, I want to get back into the circus life. He's reunited with his 2 kids. The boy is there. The girl is I'm whip smart. And we've kind of talked about this. Like, there is this weird impulse to have child characters in your movies be the smartest fucking people on the planet. And I always kind of detach from those characters because I'm like there's really no room for growth with that character. What's going to happen? Sure. Is she going to get smarter? You're pitching her as the smartest person on the planet, so I doubt that.
Yeah.
So it's like this family, then one of the elephants gives birth to this fucking monstrosity with giant ears. People are like, but it's the kids are like, the elephant probably still has worth.
But it's objectively the most adorable elephant ever, right?
Oh, but not if you're in the movie. If you're in the movie, it's hideous, I say.
It's absurd.
Anyway, so Dumbo now knows how to fly, but a freak accident happens, and they're like, okay, well, we have to ship the mom off. And then Dumbo's really sad, but then it's like, wait a second, you know how to fly. And that's super neat. And so then the kids are trying to teach the elephant to fly, and that's kind of what is helping save the circus. But I think the thing that really sold us with that trailer was the story of Dumbo and his mom.
Yeah.
That's more or less forgotten for the middle hour of the movie. And I feel like I could really sense that disconnect there.
That's fair.
Because it felt like 2 different movies.
Yeah.
I will say there is something interesting. Michael Keaton plays the villain. He is chewing that scenery like nobody's business.
In a good way, though?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, it's
cool.
really fun. Not to get too heavy into it, but Michael Keaton plays a circus owner who absorbs the smaller circus into his. It's basically Disneyland. And it's pretty damning of Michael Keaton's character and his institution. And I found it so interesting that Disney let Tim Burton make a Disney movie that kind of flipped off Disneyland.
Yeah.
That was I wasn't expecting this. This is kind of a weird layer to this movie. I thought that was kind of an interesting story riff. But again, so much of that story is separated and the focus kind of feels all over the place. So for me, I'm going to be honest, it was probably I shouldn't have seen it.
There you go.
Cool. I probably could have skipped that one.
I will probably skip it now entirely then.
All right.
Thank you for your review, Kevin.
Got it.
About the next one you got?
Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a sordid history with Pet Sematary on this podcast.
It was a real
we
give
saw
or
that,
take.
We saw that first trailer.
Yeah.
We were over the fucking moon. We saw the second trailer, and we were kind of mad because it
Very
felt like
under the moon.
Yeah. We were right here, mad.
Yeah.
Focusing on how it felt like that trailer gave too much away. Third trailer, we were like, all right, that was pretty good.
As long as this thing is something that is the inciting incident,
it
should be fine.
And here's the deal, it's not the inciting incident.
That's ridiculous.
It's the hereditary thing of when that girl dies.
Yeah.
It's put in the exact same spot in the movie. But you'll notice that the ads for Hereditary did not let you know that was coming.
Oh,
and that's what made it impactful.
It's an important thing to realize in the play out of the movie.
Yes. So we got Jason Clarke and his family, which is his wife. He's got a daughter, and they have a 2-year-old son. He's a toddler. And then eventually they meet John Lithgow, who unfortunately is kind of relegated to whatever the plot needs you to do, Idas. He's also just kind of an exposition machine.
Yeah.
I don't need this amount of information, in order for this to be creepy and effective.
Sometimes less is more.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, as you see in the trailer, cat dies. John Lithgow and Jason Clarke go to bury the cat, and John Lithgow goes, wait, follow me. And then they bury the cat, and then the cat comes back. But now the cat's sort of mean and attacks people and shit. And no shit, John Lithgow goes, oh, it worked. It's he's genuinely surprised.
Yeah.
And it's just so weird because they kind of twist him because it is whatever the plot needs you to do, Idas. Oh, in order for this scene to be more interesting, we should give Jason Clarke the power in this scene. The conga line of kids does not come back. We see them in the first 20 to 30 minutes of the movie, and that's it. For as much as it deep dives into the power and mysticism of Pet Sematary, it chooses to neglect the fact that there's 6 kids with animal masks
Yeah.
And everyone in the small community is like, what are you gonna do? Kids are kids.
Yeah.
At least they're not on their phones.
They just needed it for the trailer.
Yeah, it does feel like they just needed like a cool shot. And again, there's other stuff in that second trailer that happens probably within the last like 15 minutes of the movie. And please don't do that.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
That was really sad because like it's an occupational hazard for us to like watch it in a trailer and then see the movie and then go, ugh, I really wish I didn't know that.
Exactly. All the time. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
And that's why Avengers Endgame works so effectively for me.
Sure,
yeah.
sure. But yeah, with Pet Sematary, that really does hurt it.
Sure.
And the movie as a whole, I wasn't a fan of either. So that is also, honestly, probably I shouldn't have seen it.
Wow, Kevin, well done. You just
just
keep seeing crap movies.
I guess,
you
yeah.
should have seen Isn't It Romantic? With
And
me.
Happy Death Day
Yeah.
to you. We should have switched.
All right. Well, that
right.
does it for those drive-through reviews.
But now we're going to be talking about movies that we both saw.
That's right.
We're both going to give you our hot and fresh opinions.
For the segment trailer in the rear view.
Yeah. So
Now, keep in mind, we know these came out a while ago. We recorded this a while ago. Just a quick reminder, shut up about it.
I mean, at this point, that should be our bold prediction. Would us and Shazam still be in theaters by the time this drops?
Shazam might be. Us definitely won't be.
Oh, really?
Definitely won't be in
What are we
theaters.
putting on this?
You have to see Pet Sematary again.
Fuck! What do you have to see again?
Dumbo, I guess.
Fine.
Deal. Shake on it.
We're shaking
well
on it.
done.
I'm going to say us is still in theaters.
It definitely will not be in theaters.
I think it'll at least be in a second run.
All right.
Cool.
I'm saying AMC.
No, fuck, you don't get to pull the rug out from under me.
All right,
Listen,
fine,
that
fine,
probably works with like your butler and like the stipulations with this
run.
hat.
A second run theater isn't fair though. That's like a budget theater that keeps things
Exactly.
after
It's
the
still
run.
in the theater.
Second run theaters keep movies after they've been released on DVD. Sometimes it's happened. It's happened.
With what?
I worked at a budget movie theater in high school, and we would still be playing like a Marvel movie after it has come out on DVD.
That's a Marvel movie. That's a completely different thing.
Just saying, we got to draw the line somewhere, Kevin. I'm saying every normal theater, not second run theater.
Then let me take my handshake back, because it definitely won't be playing at an AMC. I need the guarantee of second run
All right,
theaters.
fine, I'll give it to you.
You will?
Just because this bit isn't funny if you take back the handshake. All right, fine.
Arguably, it's not funny anymore either. We're just going to get into us right now. We are going to give you our full thoughts. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Get in rhythm. There you go. There you go.
There's a family in our driveway.
If you want to get crazy, we can get crazy. What are you people?
It's us.
Should we just say what? Or...
Sure. Well, let's just say it.
It's a need to see. It's a need to see. All right. Moment of truth, man. Do we have 5 on this? Let's find out. This is Us. This is written and directed by Jordan Peele. This is starring Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Elizabeth Moss, Tim Heidecker, Shahadi Wright Joseph, Evan Alex, a random shout out, because we here at TitRV's, we like to give random shout outs to lesser known cast and crew members, because the top billed people, let's face it, they hog all the credit.
Usually.
So, we are going to shout out Mark Farney, who is the lighting technician. Hey, Mark, good job, bud, you lit the movie.
Nice. Because you usually say you're in a movie.
Yeah.
But this time you said you lit the movie because he's the lighting.
I tried to make it a bit more personal.
I got it.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm a fan.
Okay.
Let's talk about Us.
Yeah, all right. So first we're going to look at the trailer in retrospect.
How did it sell the film?
I think that it certainly sells the horror aspects of it. I think it does a solid job of giving you the premise without giving you too many of the twists in the story. What I'm surprised to see omitted in the trailer is the humor, because Us is, honestly, I thought pretty funny. And there's a lot of jokes that really land.
Yeah, it might be funnier than Get Out.
I'd copy that.
With the
Yeah.
exception of the TSA agent
Sure,
from Get
sure.
Out. But yeah, I think it might be funnier than Get Out for sure. In terms of like belly laughs.
Yeah.
And, like, actually audibly laughing. Like, there's a lot of really witty, funny stuff in Get Out that you don't actually laugh at.
Yeah.
But not that it has to sell you on the humor. That was just a fun cherry on top.
That was honestly like a fun surprise to have.
Yeah, you don't need that in a trailer when you're selling horror. And I agree. I thought it was a totally well-made trailer in selling exactly what it is. Now seeing the movie, the trailer definitely gives you enough hints in it to go.
Yeah, definitely in retrospect, knowing the context of some of those shots, specifically seeing the copy of the girl choking the other one, I'm like, oh, fuck, they're going deep into the movie to get that shot.
And that one was a little bit more telegraphed for me only because I remembered that was in the trailer.
Oh, you did?
So when I was watching the movie in the first scene where it cuts off before one of them chokes the other one out, I was just like, oh, I know where that ends up.
Oh.
I did remember that one because it was a really like impactful.
Visceral.
It hits at a really good part of the trailer, and the motion is just like really aggressive, and it grabbed me physically. Literally.
And her.
It grabbed me. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff like that where it's just like, out of context. Where are all these things placed? I don't know. There's rabbits, and it's like, where do the rabbits come into play? My theory when we reviewed the trailer was cloning.
Cloning, yeah.
And... well, what did you think of the movie in general, I guess?
We are going to get into the movie.
I guess it sold the trailer sold the movie great, right?
Yeah, I would say that I think the trailer was incredibly effective.
General consensus, that was a phenomenal trailer.
Gets across the mood really well.
Yes.
I think it does tell a story, and the fact that we're not given any context is honestly fine, just because the images themselves are so striking.
Agreed.
Okay,
Agreed.
Cool. Now we're going to get into the movie.
What'd you think of it?
We are going to be getting into spoilers.
Spoiler stuff, yeah.
But yeah, I'll just start by saying overall, I did. I really liked the movie.
Yeah. For me, I liked it. I didn't really like it.
Sure. Were your problems in the last 20 minutes?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's some issues, at least I thought, in that last act. But
yeah. Spoilery stuff from here on out for...
yeah. I mean, bear in mind,
us.
I really like the first 80 to 90 minutes.
Oh man, it's really fun. And I'm not just talking about the humor. I just mean like it is a masterfully crafted suspense film. I will not take that away from it.
Yeah, I thought all the setup with the family was really cool. I thought they functioned well together as a unit.
Yep.
Then eventually the Tethered versions of them show up. I thought all the shit in the house was really cool.
Surprisingly quick.
Yeah, totally.
I was like, what's the rest of this movie gonna be if it's not home invasion?
Oh, as soon as they took the dad outside, I was like, are they gonna fucking ice the dad the 40-minute mark?
I thought he was gonna be going also pretty early.
Yeah.
I thought all that stuff was extremely effective. It was really well done. You don't know enough about these people to like really be trying to dissect things. You know that they're bad, but you know there's something more there.
Yeah,
especially because Lupita Nyong'o's clone. They're clones. Spoiler: they do end up being clones. But she does a little bit of an explanation in the living room.
Yeah. It's kind of like Lupita Nyong'o's clone is like, well, I'm going to kill you and take your place. I need you to know why I'm doing it because my life has sucked.
And it's because we've been tethered, and anything you go through, I'm forced to as well.
Yeah.
And
when you went to that Maroon 5 concert, I was miserable. I fucking hate Maroon 5, etc.
When you confused Adam Devine for Adam Levine, I suffered through it. Yeah, exactly. So that's the only part that wasn't the last 20 minutes that I kind of...
did you disconnect there?
That didn't really work for me because...
And see, for me, in the moment, I was completely fine with that because it's like, I don't need everything right now.
No, maybe you're right. So I take it back. You're right. That information that we got in that moment should have been it.
Yeah,
this is a scenario, and we'll get to it later, where, like Kevin and I talked about, less can be more.
Yes.
And I think this movie put a little bit too much into it, where I think a little bit mystery and intrigue would have taken it further.
And I think the areas where they leave mystery from a practical standpoint it definitely leaves a lot unanswered, and a lot of it is practical stuff.
Let's get into it now. I mean,
Yeah,
what
sure.
else is there?
I think the moment where I disconnected, and it sucks because I fucking love the scene, but the second the white hipster family gets iced. So I love the reveal where it's like we see just how obnoxiously modern and pricey their house is, because it does set up like they're just flaunting their wealth, and that's why our dad has the yacht. It's more or less to compete with this guy.
Keeping up with the Joneses a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And
out of nowhere.
But they like the Beach Boys just like any other American family.
But as soon as Good Vibrations comes on, who steps out but the clone of one of the teenage daughters and just stabs her in the fucking neck. And Jordan Peele does such a great job of cutting to that exterior shot of like, there they are like flaunting their wealth and excess in their glass house. Okay, but now we have to see you fall in this glass house too. And I was like, this is so cool, but I guess this family also has clones of them too.
Sure.
Okay, we'll see where this goes.
Exactly.
We'll see where
I
it
was
goes.
like, your instinct is to go, does that add up? And then you go, I don't care. That was an awesome scene. And you know what? The subtext in that scene works phenomenally too, because you just described how great our hero family worked as a unit. And we saw this family, Elizabeth Moss family, being so isolated and separate from one another that the second the clones came a knockin', they don't stand a fucking chance.
That's a great point.
I thought so too, and I didn't really piece it
They're
together.
on different levels of the house. Yeah.
I didn't really piece it together until you just said them working good as a unit, like our hero family. Mm-hmm. And see, subtext and literal stuff can work together harmoniously.
Yes.
Sometimes they don't, though, and that's okay. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we will.
I wanted to bring that up.
So we get another great sequence where our family heads into the house, and then it basically becomes like a whack-a-mole, like mirror of like, the kids are walking through with golf clubs, and they have to kill the two teenage daughter clones. We get that great sequence. We get the daughter and the mom arguing about who gets to drive. And the argument is over their kill count, which is fucking awesome.
Probably the funniest moment in the movie.
Yeah, I would say so. But this is where things start to get kind of crazy.
Crazy's a great word, Kevin.
Yeah,
yes.
We get back to the beach. Turns out everyone has a clone. And I guess, like, what really makes Get Out work for me is I think Jordan Peele does a really great job about making it personal, because it is told through the lens of Daniel Kaluuya's character. And so it's, like, incredibly fascinating, not just from the broader racial sense. It's also incredibly interesting because I really care about Daniel Kaluuya's character at that point. And, like, once it's like, oh, yeah, this is affecting everyone in the country, I think we start to kind of lose the personal out of that, which I think is sort of a shame given how much I like the family.
Yeah, I don't have any disagreement with that. My issues with this movie farly outweigh that really being a problem for me.
Yeah, because, and like this is where it really starts to disconnect. Well, one, I will also say the way the clone boy gets iced is the real son walks backwards.
He realizes he's puppet master at that point.
Yeah, he can control him, and he makes his clone walk back into flames. And that's the only point where, like, they can actually control their tethered versions of themselves.
Yeah,
and that kind of felt out of place.
Well, the movie implies... Look, we'll give it to you a real brief rundown. The clones are underneath the surface, and they are tethered to their surface selves. And at one point, they become untethered, and they are going to rise up and overtake the surface. That's their plan. And it's clear that Lupita Nyong'o's clone is the orchestrator of this plan. But it's clear that they're not really tethered anymore until the plot needed one of the characters to still be tethered.
There's that.
And then he was able to kill the one little boy. It was very confusing or convoluted as to how this tethering system worked. I don't think I would have cared as much if they explained less. Which brings us to...
the climax of the film.
Climax.
So, Lupita Nyong'o goes into the tunnels where she ran into her former self as a child.
Yep.
and her clone is standing in front of a blackboard where she gives like a good 5-minute spiel. One, I tend to disconnect from big exposition dumps in the third act of movies. And again, I feel like if you didn't have the everyone has a tethered version of themselves angle, and you just have it be just this town, you don't need that exposition then. We can just say, this town has this fucked up secret. It's like, okay, so everyone has a tethered version of themselves. But man, all of the practical shit. One, who's providing these fucking rabbits for them? There are miles and miles of tunnels underneath the surface that like are completely unoccupied. Is there enough for the entire populace to be there? Because like that's an insane amount of space and an insane amount of people.
And again, it's just this exposition dump provided like an explanation that just made me have more questions.
Exactly.
Whereas if you didn't provide the information in that exposition dump, I probably would have like shrugged it off as supernatural. There's a lot of subtext.
It's also like, yo, Lupita Nyong'o was seriously the first person to run into her clone.
Ever?
Yeah.
Really? Especially if they're tethered. If one walks towards the meeting point, the
whoever
other
the
one
fuck
will...
was running this funhouse must have.
Right, yeah. She's the first person to walk into a funhouse. Ridiculous. So there's a lot of literal things in the movie that are just way too big of a leaps for me to accept. You gave me a half of an answer that just blew the door open on more questions, whereas if you gave less, I would have been okay with just shrugging it off.
And bear in mind, thematically, I think stuff kind of got muddled too, especially when we get...
You mean like the subtext?
Yes, the coup de grace twist, if you will.
So let's get into the twist of the movie.
It is revealed that James's impulse from watching the trailer was correct. There was more to that scene where child Lupita Nyong'o meets clone Lupita Nyong'o.
Yes.
And that is, we've been following the clone the entire time. The clone switched places.
Surprisingly, I did not piece that together.
And that's the note we end on. We see, like, all of the clones fucking holding hands.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie.
Our family escapes, by the way.
Family does escape. Everyone makes it.
As a unit. Again, they worked as a unit, and they're our heroes. Even though Lupita Nyong'o is technically a clone, she picked herself up from her bootstraps as a clone and made her American dream family.
Really thrown off by all of the dance stuff. So like they make a big point where her character doesn't speak after the funhouse incident until they enroll her in dance lessons, and she becomes a pretty accomplished and good dancer. And then the entire last fight intercuts with her doing an actual dance number.
Sure.
And what does this have to do with you being your own worst enemy? Or like, what is that trying to say? And I was getting so lost in like, and again, I guess it just kind of threw me off because like with Get Out, I've had so many arguments with people who thought Stephen Root's character, who was like, I don't give a shit that you were black, I just wanted your eyes, whether or not he was racist. And I thought he was, and I've talked to people who think he was not. There's so much to draw from. And
I believe he thinks he's not.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. There is so much going on there and so much to draw from, and because the events are focused, we're viewing them from the lens of this one person, and it doesn't affect the entire country. It kind of like keeps the themes in check.
Yeah, I just think the subtext theme of the twist, it works on the theme subtext level of it, sort of. But it doesn't matter for the literal aspect of the movie. Like, when that twist happens, I just kind of went, so? Like, she's still the hero that we have been following since the beginning of the movie. So what are you trying to tell me? That I shouldn't be rooting for her now? No, you're just trying to tell me on a subtext level that, well, sometimes, like, we can be bad, sometimes we can be good. It's I know that.
It's also, like, what advantages you were given.
But I know, but on a literal level, that twist
it doesn't affect the story itself.
It's like, she's still the hero of the movie, and the one who was underneath trying to murder millions of people is the bad guy of the movie. You're not going to convince me otherwise.
Oh, yeah, no, and I don't think the movie is trying to convince you otherwise.
No, it's not.
I think the film is just trying to say...
The twist is pointless in my point.
Okay,
because
we can agree to disagree.
Sure.
I can totally see where you're coming from. It is about just, like, what advantages you are given.
Sure.
And, like, once they're switched, that's what makes her draw up this plan and enact this revenge.
I get it.
It's a twist that does kind of twist the themes. It doesn't really twist the actual story.
Right. It doesn't change the outcome to the story at all.
Yeah.
Like, I will just watch Trading Places again. That's a better movie of that happening,
Sure,
I think.
sure.
Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay.
That's a movie where that's the whole theme, and literally it also makes sense.
But, I mean, from a technical level, like what you said, the craft is so fucking good.
It is phenomenally.
I would be interested in seeing this again just to see if I pick up on anything else, or if I'm just supposed to take this as pulpy midnight horror, and I'm not supposed to really think that hard about it.
I think it wants you to think that hard about it.
Yeah, but if I do, then I'm going to wonder where these fucking rabbits came from.
They I don't know, they breed. You know, the saying, they screw
right,
like
but
rabbits.
If you're tethered, it's not like you can go and be like, all right, you two bunnies, get at it.
They just screw like bunnies, man. That's the phrasing. I don't know. I don't care either.
All right, we're going to give you our ratings of us, from us. What would you give this movie?
I felt so strongly about the things I disliked in this movie, but it provided me with a lot of talking material with people. I am appreciative of that. And like I said, when the credits rolled, I was like, that was a good movie.
Okay.
Especially technically and, craft-wise. It was very good. I think I land on a glad I saw it, but it's kind of low glad I saw it for me.
Sure.
Like, I'm glad I saw it.
Cool. All right. I am also at a glad I saw it.
Awesome.
And bear in mind, like, I definitely have some of those story bumps, too. There's some character stuff, like the fact that Lupita Nyong'o gets out of the car after the teenage girl flies into the tree. That completely took me out of the movie.
I was like, and even after knowing it's the clone, that doesn't change anything there.
Not
That's
really.
still not your daughter.
Right.
Your daughter is in the car.
Yeah.
We've seen how much you love your family.
Yeah.
Why are you having this weird, moment with this murderous clone daughter?
Right.
It's only for the theme backup.
Yeah.
But, again, literally, it just doesn't make sense.
Sure.
Anyway.
All right. So
Shazam!
Yes. We're going to just throw a bolt of lightning into the middle of this podcast. We are going to start talking about Shazam.
Zap.
What are your superpowers?
Superpowers, dude? I don't even know how to pee in this thing.
His name is Captain Sparklefingers.
No, it's not. That's not my name.
Dude, did you see that?
You electrocuted a bus and almost killed these people.
And then I caught it.
I really liked this one. I know we didn't give the first one a rating, but this would have upped it or stayed the same at a need to see it for me.
I would have either upped it or raised it to need to see it.
Hey, we got ourselves a double need to see on this.
Alright, so Shazam is directed by David F. Sandberg, written by Henry Gayden. This is starring Zachary Levi, Mark Strong, Asher Angel, Jack Dylan Grazer. Our random shout out is actually, for the first time, going to go to two people.
What?
It is going
Why?
to go to Marta Milans and Cooper Andrews, who play Rosa and Victor Vasquez, respectively, the foster
Oh,
parents.
cool. Yeah.
We'll get into it, but I thought they were both very, very good.
Foster care is important, and you breathed life into that.
Well done. So the trailer, in retrospect, what do you think, James?
All right, so the trailer basically gives us everything we need to know about this thing. It's an origin. It's a superhero origin story. You also get the sense that, this is like Big. This is like Tom Hanks' Big, but a superhero film. He's just a 15-year-old, man. But you do get a sense that this is an origin story, and maybe he's not like really understanding his powers yet, or where he fits into the world. But there's a bad guy, and they're gonna punch a bit, and he's gonna learn stuff by the end of it.
And he's terrified of the bad guy, too.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, the trailer, I thought, did a good job. It teased us with the humor that was in it. Some of the things I worry about sometimes is, the best jokes were in the trailer, and that was basically it. I don't think that were the case here. No. This movie had a lot more to offer us in terms of humor than the trailer let on, which was great. That was a great surprise. Even the bus gag of, you electrocuted this bus, but then I caught it. Mm-hmm. That has another joke in that scene that you don't even see in the trailer, which it makes it so much better, too. So the humor aspect is teased really well. The plot, for the sake of it being an superhero origin story, I think you know enough of.
Yeah.
You don't get too much of a sense of the Foster family unit in this one trailer.
Correct.
I would say is the one.
I also think the trailer definitely hides how dark the movie can get, too.
I think so, yep.
Because the movie definitely goes into some pretty harrowing family material. I mean, it's not hereditary scarring, but like certainly, like there's a lot in the movie about finding your home, and home is the people. Like you can choose your home.
Yes, it doesn't tiptoe around the fact that foster situations can be really rough, man.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
To find a family unit that actually works is something that's rare and should be embraced and celebrated. The Comic-Con tease of Shazam did have the foster family aspect in the trailer. Sure. So like I knew it was in the marketing, so I knew it was there, but in this trailer, like that was it. There was no sense. Like for all you knew, this could have just been the kid's best friend that he was hanging out with. You don't really know it's like his foster brother. But that's okay. Like if this is the only trailer you see, I think it still gives you a good sense of what this movie is about, and I think it sells it acceptably. Yeah,
definitely. No, I would say overall this is a perfectly fine trailer. I'm not going to go so far as to say tonal whiplash, but it definitely doesn't have how varied the tone gets within the movie. I think if you want to just focus on one angle of it, that's perfectly acceptable.
Totally, yeah.
But if that makes some people feel kind of like taken aback, I wouldn't necessarily blame you. If like you walked out and you were like, what the fuck was up with the boardroom scene? Anyway, speaking of specifics about the movie, let's get into the movie itself.
Sure.
So this is Shazam. James, what did you think?
I really enjoyed this movie. Quite a lot, actually. As far as DC movies go, this is kind of another thumbs up from James after coming off of Aquaman and
Wonder Woman?
Justice League was after Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
So that was a swing and a miss. But Wonder Woman was a thumbs up. Okay. Yeah, thumbs up from James. Like, okay. I was really happy with this one.
Awesome. I'm side thumbs.
Okay,
on this.
Side thumbs?
I am a side thumbs on this, unfortunately. I don't necessarily mind a movie going in, like, wildly different directions tone-wise. I think it would have been nice to let stuff breathe a little bit more.
Sure.
So after...
Spoilers?
Yes.
Let's do spoilers, everyone.
After Shazam meets his mom...
His biological mom.
Biological mom who straight up is like, oh, no, I was, like, kind of cool with you not coming back. Or like,
which is kind of telegraphed.
It is.
But you as the viewer... The reason it works is because you as the viewer don't want to accept that rationale yet.
Nor does the character.
Nor does he.
And that's definitely an emotionally devastating scene for that character. And that's what his drive has been. And then that door closes, he walks down that hallway, and then is like, I better get back to my foster family. And then that's just kind of that. And it's like, I think if the movie kind of gave us time to linger on, especially something with that much weight,
sure,
I think I would have appreciated it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are a bunch of different things about the movie where I'm like, oh, that's almost great. So the first time we see our main character meet the Foster family, I love the Foster family. That was the easy highlight for me throughout this movie.
Yeah, they're all really great.
All of them are really great. Again, I shouted out the parents at the beginning. I'll shout them out again. I think they do a lot of great work.
With the little amount they're given.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And when we're meeting them for the first time, it's like we're getting little snapshots with each of these kids. But in doing that, we are losing our main character through that. He's just kind of being led through the area. Just give him he's surveying the house to see how he can break out. Because he's broken out of every single, all 22 of the foster homes he's been in.
Exactly.
Now bear in mind, what we have now works. It's good. I just wish there was a little bit more.
Sure.
And that's really the best way I can describe how I felt about the movie. I will also say none of the action really stood out to me.
No, it really doesn't. It's very punchy, flyy. The villain kind of has this power of sending the 7 deadly sins in just like ghoul form.
Yeah. Wasn't crazy about the ghoul form.
No,
either.
I mean, they all looked the same, sort of. Like, Glutton was fat, but that was like it. I think if you would have taken a little bit more time and creativity to make them look like the deadly sin that they represent, I would have been more on board with it.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because I thought the heart of the movie was the takeaway, and the humor was really good too. Zachary Levi's was fantastic.
I really liked
the kid, the foster brother.
Yeah.
Was amazing.
So
funny and just believable too. Like all the crap that he had to say that was like in the script that he had to just like word vomit out, I believed every fucking syllable that kid said, that he is like an uber fan of everything he's talking about. Mark Strong was Mark Strong in it. Plays a pretty good villain. That's about it.
I mean, yeah, he, like, Mark Strong has definitely been pigeonholed as comic book bad guy.
Yeah.
And he's always good at it.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he's in the hole.
He was good guy in Kingsman.
Sure. But I mean, like, Matthew Vaughn still made him get blown up by a rocket and kick ass.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
But I will also say all of, like, the superhero test stuff I thought was really good.
Oh, yeah, that stuff is good.
And really where it's like, it is them just trying to learn it just as much as it is them controlling it. Like, he doesn't know how to fly. Like, how would you? If you were like, maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
And, like, the movie does a good job of making it be, like, really confusing and, like, baffling for a bit. I don't know. Like, there are aspects that I thought were really cool. But then at the same time, what the fuck is going on with these bullies, homie? Like, their intro is they hit a disabled kid with a truck, and then they start beating him up for scuffing their truck. And it's like, that's not how people behave. And
like,
then
I've met some pretty, like, dirtbag people in my time, and none of them are that bad. That was not believable as real human beings, and I think writers could have done better.
Well, and
justice to bullies.
And I don't justice to bullies.
I know,
man.
justice to bullies.
We just want good bully disparity on screen, good bully representation.
Hashtag justice for bullies, man. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely, and especially because they keep coming the fuck back throughout this story.
Yeah.
And once I got a kid who has superpowers and Mark Strong is killing people in boardrooms, I don't care about bullies no more.
Yeah.
And like, even if it is supposed to be like, oh yeah, life is intruding on the superhero stuff because life still goes on. Man, just have it be the family.
Totally.
Because that's really where the heart of the story is anyway. And
the conflict's there too.
Exactly.
Like, it's not like it's void of conflict. It's there. It's just not cartoony bully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Again, the family is so good. Like
So
the
good.
little girl, the sister, can she keep a secret? Yeah, kind of. No,
she can't.
All
Yeah.
that stuff is perfect. The stuff with the older sister I liked too. I don't know how I can't remember how that arc comes to a conclusion.
I think
whether
she just
goes to college
decided
or
to...
not.
No, I don't think they made a decision. Although maybe the fact that they end up all being superheroes, she just like makes that decision. I think we work pretty good as a unit. We all saw Us, right?
I don't think I'm going to sleep through a geography class at 8 a.m. I'm just going to stay here and be a superhero.
Sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me.
It's cheaper.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a spoiler at the end. Like, the whole motivation of the villain is to steal the power of Shazam for himself. Billy Batson finally realizes, if he can steal the power with my consent, maybe I can share it with that same consent with my family. Mm-hmm. And he's right. And he can. And that's how they win the day. And it's such a great, fun cap-off message of the whole thing. Something I didn't expect at all. Like, it was really surprising and fun for me. Yeah, I really liked it, man. So
again, there are definitely things about this that I think really work.
Yeah.
I would say in the DC lexicon for me, it's like Wonder Woman is probably at the top. This is definitely a good second. I don't want to rank them yet because Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam, I've all only seen only once. So it's hard for me to rank them, especially Wonder Woman came out
kind of so long ago now. It's kind of hard to remember in terms of
2 or 3 years
ranking
ago,
them. At the moment, I kind of put Shazam at the top, but it's just the most fresh in my mind, I think. So, but yeah, they're on a good streak, man. Like, this universe doesn't work as a universe, as a shared universe. But
I think they're starting to get the gist of that, though, because DC is doing Joker now, and
that's different.
It's different. It's something that's not an MCU clone.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. It's hard because you've already have these massively successful solo movies that you've already established share a universe with a Ben Affleck Batman who is never going to play Batman ever again. Like, that is... Yeah. So, it's interesting. We'll see what happens. It's fascinating to watch, but in the meantime, I'm enjoying the ride.
Okay, cool. So what would you rate this?
I'm going to rate this a glad I saw it. I'm just very consistent with glad I saw it today.
Sure. I am going to give this a really, really, really high shoulda waited.
Shoulda waited. Okay, fair enough.
I think the only thing that keeps me from going to glad I saw it, I feel like if I could have recalled an action scene, I probably would have just tipped the scale up. But
the only action scene I remember is because there's a really great joke in it, and which is when they're him and the villain are flying above the city, and they're so far apart, and then the villain starts monologuing, and then Shazam is
that's a good bit.
Are you talking? We're like a mile. You're a mile away, man. I can't hear anything you're saying.
Right.
Okay, I'm just gonna punch you. That was really great. But not because of the action scene. It was because of a joke in it. But
again, I still definitely think that there is good to be had here.
Cool.
I'm usually a little harsher on DC movies. I was not a big fan of Aquaman, for example.
I do remember that.
Yeah, so take that as you will. And you can take that all the way to wherever you're going because we're done here.
Okay, bye. Wait, no, we have more to do.
We do want to shout out and thank some people for helping us make this podcast what it is. We'd like to thank Jenny Hawks, our social media and bad movie correspondent, as always.
Can't do it without her.
We would like to thank Rachel Ashley for doing the amazing art that you see.
You wouldn't see us without her.
That is true. We would like to thank Danny Schmitz from Lost in a Name for the amazing intro song.
We couldn't rock as hard without him.
We would like to thank Casey Clowers for the amazing outro song, which you'll hear in just a moment.
What a punctuation with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm winding down here.
That's okay.
I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna keep it going.
So if you would like to let us know what you think of Shazam, what you think of us, do you have an explanation for where the rabbits are coming from in...
I just gave it to you. But if you disagree with me, write in.
Yeah, if you have a different explanation, or what the fuck is going on with the dancing metaphor, or if it is a metaphor, we're confused, we're tired. You can do that at trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com. Otherwise, if you want to send us a Facebook message, you can do that. You can find us Trailer Hitch Podcast on Facebook. Or if you want to send us more condensed thoughts, you can do that on Twitter at Trailer Hitch Pod. You can also find us on Instagram at Trailer Hitch Podcast. If you would like to listen to these episodes, we'd hope so. I mean, you'd have to be listening to us in order to hear this bit.
It's a weird cycle, isn't it? It's a weird paradox. But here we are.
If you have entered the loop, you can continue this loop by subscribing to us on iTunes. Be sure to rate and review us while you are at it. That's how we get more listeners. That's how you can keep hearing our wonderful thoughts.
Subscribe, please.
Otherwise, if you are like, Apple, but I'm still mad at them for getting rid of the headphone jack. I switched to Android long ago. Cool, we're on Stitcher. You can hear us there. And if you're like, I don't have a phone, I don't want the government to track me, but for some reason still have a computer, okay, cool, we're on YouTube. Trailer Hitch on YouTube.
All of our episodes are up on YouTube.
All of those. You can
Thanks
catch up
to
on
our social media correspondent, Jenny. Gets them all up there every episode.
Yep.
And they're fantastic.
Yeah.
So check them out there if you'd like. Like and comment on YouTube. We can shout you out if you leave a comment. We'll do it. We'll do it. Don't tempt us. We'll do it.
We will repeat virtually anything.
Is that it for the thank yous?
I think we're done with the thank yous.
I think we're done with the thank yous.
We can just get out of here if you want.
Bye.
You can't mount holy sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
in regard to Shazam,
yes.
Usually talking in movie theaters has a really bad connotation, right?
Terrible.
Like it wrecks
Can't
the movie.
stand it.
All right, so I had someone talk next to me for Shazam. She only interrupted once, and honest to God, it's like the best thing I've heard in a movie theater ever. So I was sitting next to a family. I was sitting next to a mom and a pa and like a 6-year-old girl. And bear in mind, she had like a light cold, so she was like sneezing intermittently through a movie, which exactly, little children sneezing, just heartwarming.
It's like a puppy sneezing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh. So it's like this 6-year-old girl is sitting next to me, and the beginning of Shazam is going on, and this is where the kid loses his mom. He's got a toy. He drops the toy, lets go of his mother's hand, goes, gets toy, looks up, big-ass crowd, has lost his mom. And the little girl turns to her parents and with the utmost serious says, I would never do that. And both parents sigh and go, we know. And it was just the fucking best. It made me so happy.
It's adorable.
Right?
Yeah. Now at the later part of the movie, when the mom says, I didn't want you, did the parents lean over and go, we've considered that?